So what happens when, you know, two absolute titans of hip-hop,
Hmm.
figures who shaped culture for decades, they pivot their vision from crafting musical empires to building, well, multi-billion-dollar, high-stakes real estate empires.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
We're talking about Jay-Z and Nas, of course,
Yeah.
and their really ambitious, calculated moves into the booming New York City casino market.
It's quite the development.
And for this deep dive, you've brought us this absolutely fascinating stack of sources.
Mm.
They outline how these two legendary artists aren't just like slapping their names on something. They're actively aligning with major casino developer teams.
Real partners.
Yeah, real partners, each vying for those incredibly coveted NYC casino licenses. It feels like more than just a business deal. It's this kind of seismic collision, you know?
Mm.
Cultural cool meets mega money hospitality, playing out right there in their hometown.
Right on familiar streets, yeah.
Our mission today is to really unpack the nuances here.
Indeed, and our mission is exactly that, to unravel these distinct strategies. We'll compare, the scale, the risk profiles, understand the pretty sophisticated long-term financial play at work here,
Okay.
and ultimately examine what these monumental moves mean. For their legacies, sure, but also for the future of urban development in New York City itself. We'll explore not just that they're leveraging their cultural influence, but how they're doing it, how they're getting into such an incredibly capital-intensive and, frankly, politically charged industry.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? You have these two artists who famously battled lyrically.
Right, yeah.
And now they're competing in this completely different arena for economic dominance, really, in their own city. It's quite a pivot for hip-hop. Reflects a profound shift, maybe. What does that tell us about, like, the evolving nature of celebrity wealth and influence today?
Absolutely. And the executive summary of our source material really highlights this. These aren't just, celebrity appearances or quick endorsements. We're talking Sean Jay-Z Carter and Nasir Nas Jones publicly aligning with major casino developer teams back in 2024, 2025.
Okay.
They're using their immense cultural capital, that deep reservoir of influence, credibility, the network they've built over decades in music, business, community engagement,
All of that.
all of that, to gain entry into this high-stakes world of hospitality and gaming economics. It's more than just having a famous name. It's the unique trust, the resonance their brands carry. That's a huge asset in urban development where community buy-in is just paramount.
Right.
But what's truly captivating, I think, is that they're employing very different strategies, different risk profiles, and telling very different community stories.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics then. What are these two giants actually proposing? Because the details, like you said, they seem incredibly telling about their individual philosophies,
Yeah.
maybe their approaches to building wealth.
Well, let's start with Jay-Z. He's making quite the splash in Manhattan, as the sources detail. His partnership includes Roc Nation, of course, the powerhouse development firm SL Green Realty, and the global gaming giant Caesars Entertainment.
That's a heavy-hitting team.
It's a formidable consortium, yeah. And they formally announced their bid ahead of that crucial June 2025 licensing deadline. So a very deliberate, very high-profile play.
And the proposal itself, it's pretty ambitious for Midtown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Converting an office tower.
It is. Their proposal is to convert an existing Midtown office tower, specifically 1515 Broadway.
Right in Times Square.
Yeah, exactly, right in the heart of it, into a Caesars Palace, Times Square. And this isn't just sticking some slots in a basement. It's envisioned as a large-scale integrated resort concept.
Integrated resort. Okay, so that means like hotels, food, entertainment, the whole package.
Precisely. The whole package. Bundling gaming facilities with a full suite of luxury amenities, hotels, high-end restaurants, entertainment venues, retail. The goal is creating a complete destination, right? Drawing multiple revenue streams beyond just the gambling floor.
Leveraging that insane Times Square foot traffic.
Exactly. It's about providing this all-encompassing experience there.
And the community aspect.
Yeah.
That seems huge for these bids.
Yeah.
For Jay-Z's Times Square proposal, what were some of the key financial pledges? Those community benefits packages. I mean, the numbers I saw were pretty eye-popping.
You're absolutely right. The numbers are indeed significant. Their bid includes a substantial $250 million community benefits package.
Wow.
And within that, a specific $22.5 million is pledged to a nearby affordable housing trust. They're also projecting, tens of billions in local economic impact over the long term.
Right.
What was particularly interesting, as our sources highlight, is Jay-Z himself personally presented at these community advisory committee hearings in July 2025. He was emphasizing local business inclusion.
So hands-on,
Very hands-on. This isn't just some distant corporate pledge. It's a very strategic, personal approach to leveraging his brand for local impact.
Okay, so that's Jay-Z's bold move for Manhattan. But if Jay-Z is aiming squarely for that global spotlight of Times Square, Nas, it seems, is really doubling down on his roots.
Hmm.
Tell us about his play for Queens. It seems equally formidable.
That's a perfect way to put it. Nas partnered with Resorts World New York City, or WNYC, on this high-profile expansion plan for their existing aqueduct site in Queens.
When it's already there.
Exactly. This was making headlines from early 2024 and throughout 2025, signaling this deep long-term commitment. RWNYC has proposed a massive, and I mean massive, $5.0 to $5.5 billion redevelopment project.
Billion, with a B.
With a B, to convert and expand the existing Aqueduct Casino into a full Las Vegas-style integrated resort. So this isn't just an upgrade. It includes an expanded gaming floor, multiple entertainment venues, high-end retail, a much larger resort footprint overall. It's strategically positioned as this monumental Queens investment. They're aiming to be the largest casino in the borough, really transforming it into a genuine destination.
That narrative, though, bringing the future home for Queens, leaning into Nas's deep roots there, that feels incredibly powerful, doesn't it?
It really does.
But when we talk about long-term neighborhood investment, what are the specific tangible benefits? Beyond just headline jobs and tourism that our sources outline, and how do these huge projects actually integrate with and uplift an existing community, without causing unintended friction?
That's such an essential question, and our sources do dive into it. For Nas, the emphasis is heavily on leveraging that hometown credibility to anchor jobs, tourism, and what they specifically term long-term neighborhood investment.
Right.
Now, often this translates into commitments for local hiring, especially targeting folks from disadvantaged communities, and contracts for local businesses that's critically important for getting political buy-in.
Yeah.
While there are always concerns about increased traffic or potential displacement, RWNYC's existing relationship in Queens, combined with Nas's narrative, it gives them a distinct advantage, arguably, in framing this as a direct community benefit, a powerful engine for economic uplift in a borough that could really benefit from that kind of investment.
So it's about generating sustainable economic value for Queens, a real commitment to his borough.
That seems to be the core message, yeah.
Okay, but this is where the strategic genius, or at least the difference, truly unfolds. Because while both Jay-Z and Nas are vying for that coveted casino license, they are deploying fundamentally different blueprints, right? Each tailored to their strengths and their chosen battlegrounds.
Exactly. Let's just compare the sheer scale and visibility for a second. Nas's Resorts World plan. It's a colossal resort-scale capital expenditure, that $5.5 billion redevelopment.
Yeah, that number sticks with you.
It's an outright major integrated resort play. It involves lengthy construction timelines, and it leverages an existing licensed casino operator expanding an established footprint. It's kind of a build big and own it strategy.
Okay. And then there's Jay-Z's Times Square project.
Yeah.
Which, well, maybe having smaller headline CapEx numbers, that's capital expenditure, right? The cost of building it.
Right, the upfront investment cost.
It boasts this extremely high visibility site in Times Square. You can't get much more visible.
Pretty much impossible.
So it's more of a development conversion model, valuing brand, tourism density, symbolic impact, positioning for that single downstate license with potentially huge tax and PR upside. And that $250 million community benefit pledge you mentioned, that feels like a major political and PR lever in this incredibly high-stakes competition, almost like a necessary entry fee for a spot like Times Square.
That's a good way to think about it. It's definitely part of the strategic calculus. Now, when we look at the operational models and partner strengths, we see another divergence. Nas, as we said, is partnering with an existing casino operator, RWNYC.
Right.
They already have substantial operational experience right there in NYC, an established footprint. This generally means lower regulatory risk on the operational capability side. They know how to run a casino here.
Okay, that makes sense.
However, it also entails much higher capital expenditure and scope risk for such a massive expansion. In this dynamic, Nas acts as this powerful hometown brand ambassador, a strategic local partner, bringing that kind of irreplaceable community connection.
While Jay-Z's team, it's a true consortium, isn't it? You've got his celebrity brand, Roc Nation's reach, a global operator in Caesars, and a major NYC real estate developer, SL Green.
It's a powerhouse blend, yeah. It marries deep local real estate know-how from SL Green with a globally recognized casino brand and Jay-Z's, frankly, unparalleled cultural reach.
That structure must also mean regulatory scrutiny and community pushback can be incredibly intense, right? Especially given Times Square's political visibility. It's a global icon.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a high-reward, high-scrutiny game, no question.
And that leads right into political and community risk.
Exactly. Nas plays the hometown card very, very strongly. His project is arguably easier to frame as a direct community benefit to Queens residents, and it leverages RWNYC's long-standing local ties, their existing operations.
So less starting from scratch with the community.
Potentially, yes. While there will always be concerns, traffic, displacement, those are standard, that pre-existing relationship and the narrative of local investment, it offers some advantages in navigating local opposition.
Whereas Jay-Z's Times Square bid, it faces intense scrutiny and high-profile opposition. Our sources note those community advisory hearings in July 2025 were quite contentious.
Very much so. Significant concerns were raised about increased congestion, the potential impact on Times Square's identity.
Yeah, you can imagine. That high visibility definitely raises the reputational risk. But as you said, if it gets approved, the upside is potentially outsized because of that unique location.
Precisely. The potential rewards match the risks.
It really feels like we're watching two different yet equally formidable philosophies of, I don't know, empire building and community impact play out in real time here.
Absolutely. It genuinely raises a fascinating question. Are we witnessing two contrasting approaches to wealth creation and civic engagement, both targeting the same high-stakes market, but driven by very different strategic lenses, different personal narratives?
Yeah.
Jay-Z, with his global brand, seems to be going for that iconic high-impact conversion, while Nas is leaning into a more maybe organic, ground-up expansion rooted deeply in his community.
Okay, so let's talk brass tacks. Yeah. Money. What does this all mean for the long-term money potential? Because ultimately, these are massive business plays. They require huge capital, and they promise equally huge returns, presumably. What are the revenue streams they're really eyeing?
Well, both plans aim to capture the same set of lucrative long-term cash flows, just maybe at different scales. First, the obvious one, gaming revenue.
Right. The house always wins. Different.
Well, the house edge on all the games and slots, yeah. For casinos, that's a recurring, typically high-margin income stream. It really forms the bedrock of their profitability.
Okay.
Then you have substantial hospitality revenue. Think high-end hotel rooms, food and beverage operations, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, concerts, shows.
All the stuff around the gaming.
Exactly. And finally, non-gaming entertainment and retail. This serves as both a brand extension and provides additional high-margin ancillary revenues, basically. Everything people spend money on inside the resort that isn't actually gambling.
And in today's market, you have to factor in sportsbook and digital betting, right? That seems huge now.
Oh, absolutely critical.
The physical retail footprint of these casinos can cross-sell to their online partners, drawing more users into that whole ecosystem. And Jay-Z's past ties with Fanatics and sportsbooks seem particularly relevant here. He clearly understands that integrated market.
Precisely. It's not just about what happens inside the physical building anymore. The digital piece is massive. Now, conceptually, just thinking about the potential, a top-tier NYC integrated resort, once it's fully developed and stabilized.
Stabilized meaning running smoothly.
At capacity.
Yeah, running smoothly, predictable operations, hitting its stride. It can generate hundreds of millions, maybe even pushing towards billions in annual revenue.
Wow.
A $5 billion Las Vegas-scale project like Nas's plan, that implies a long-term enterprise capable of producing really substantial returns for the equity owners and the operators, often with profit margins that are pretty enviable in the broader hospitality sector.
These aren't quick flips, then.
No, these are designed to be cash flow machines for decades.
And Jay-Z's Times Square project. If it gets approved and executed well, it would leverage that absolutely unprecedented foot traffic and premium hospitality pricing, right?
Sure. Imagine the margins on food and beverage or retail in a Times Square Caesars Palace. That's on top of the gaming yields. The sheer volume of people just passing through Times Square every day is an unparalleled asset for driving that non-gaming revenue.
Absolutely. But what's crucial for the artists themselves, Jay-Z and Nas, beyond the grand vision, is the potential for equity stakes. real ownership.
Right, not just an endorsement fee.
Exactly. If they secure true actual ownership shares, they participate directly in enterprise valuation growth and the long-term profits. Enterprise valuation growth being the increase in the overall value of the whole business, right? All its assets and liabilities considered.
So as the whole thing becomes more valuable, their piece grows too.
Precisely. And equity in a multi-billion-dollar resort, that is absolutely a generational wealth lever. It can provide sustained income and asset growth for families over many, many decades. It can far surpass most other celebrity investments, even music royalties over the very long term.
Okay. Then there's the branding and VIP revenue piece. Celebrity-led hospitality venues. You know, high-end clubs, branded restaurants, exclusive VIP suites.
Yeah, those can command outsized comps and ancillary revenues. Jay-Z's 40/40 Club is kind of a prime example of monetizing that hospitality and intellectual property beyond just passive ownership.
It's a proven model for him already.
Exactly. His brand directly drives premium experiences and, therefore, profits.
And finally, you mentioned that community investment piece also functions as political currency.
It absolutely does. Pledges, like Jay-Z's $250 million package,
Right.
they serve a dual purpose. They are a commitment to social impact, yes, but they are also a critical governance lever.
How so?
While they help pave the way for approvals, they can mitigate opposition, secure public and political buy-in, which unlocks the full economic potential of the casino itself. These aren't just charitable acts, they are strategic investments in securing the social license to operate. You need the community on board, or at least not actively fighting you.
So we're seeing this cultural capital being leveraged in multiple really sophisticated ways. But let's be honest, these are huge undertakings. What are the key risks involved? Especially doing this in a city like New York. It can't be easy.
Oh, definitely not easy. And the risks are significant, complex. First, there's licensing and political opposition. Getting one of those downstate casino licenses is politically fraught. You got local community advisory panels that can pose real hurdles, intense lobbying.
Right. Just getting permission is a major risk.
Huge hurdle. Then there's substantial execution and capital expenditure overrun risk. Building mega resorts, especially in NYC, costs can easily spike. That can dilute your projected returns, push timelines way back.
Construction nightmares.
Exactly. Then there's reputational risk. What if the community perceives harms, like increased problem gambling, traffic nightmares getting worse, displacement of residents or small businesses? That can be really difficult to manage, especially for high-profile figures like Jay-Z and Nas.
Yeah, their personal brands are on the line too.
Absolutely. And finally, you have market concentration. NYC's leisure market is already incredibly dense. There's a risk of cannibalization, meaning existing entertainment venues, maybe even other casinos, if multiple get approved, might see their revenue siphoned off. Operators have to fight hard to secure sustainable market share against really stiff competition.
So a lot of potential pitfalls, but our sources really highlight that these bids show hip-hop as deal-maker culture in its purest form, right?
Yes, that comes through clearly.
These leaders are evolving.
Yeah.
From brand partners to like genuine infrastructure investors, they're influencing urban real estate, public policy. It feels like a clear signal that cultural capital now buys you a seat at the city's biggest tables, impacting decisions that shape the future in really profound ways. This isn't just about, sneakers or drinks anymore.
Exactly. And what this really illuminates is how cultural capital has transformed. It's moved beyond mere celebrity endorsement into this potent, quantifiable asset, right? And the highest echelons of urban development. It's not just about star power. It's about the social license, the trust these figures command that allows them to navigate complex community and political hurdles that, frankly, traditional corporate entities often find really difficult, if not insurmountable.
So it's like the financialization of authenticity, a new kind of currency in a city built on influence and connection.
That's a great way to put it, the financialization of authenticity. And for artists with long horizons, this represents a play for long-term legacy and generational wealth. As we discussed, equity in integrated resorts, or even just meaningful partnership economics that can outstrip record sales, tours, many traditional real estate plays over time.
They are truly generational assets.
Yes, with recurring cash flows, ensuring wealth creation for decades. Both Jay-Z and Nas really exemplify artists moving beyond product endorsements to these structural economic roles in their cities, shaping the very physical landscape.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear both artists are crafting these monumental legacies way beyond music now. And there's a distinct brilliance, I think, in each of their approaches that deserves recognition.
Absolutely. You look at Jay-Z, He's leveraging his global brand, those substantial philanthropy pledges, the global operator ties with Caesars, SL Green's real estate sophistication, all to pursue this truly transformational Manhattan project.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly. High risk, but potentially enormous symbolic and financial reward. And it aligns perfectly with his established expertise, right? Experiential venues like the 4040 Club, his work in sports betting with Fanatics.
He knows this space.
He knows the space.
And then S, he's using that deep hometown credibility to anchor this massive $5 billion plus Queens proposal. Promising jobs, scale for his community. It feels like a very strategic move to infuse long-term capital directly into his roots,
Right into Queens.
generating sustainable economic value there. It's a powerful statement about community-first development, maybe.
A very powerful statement, yes. A genuine commitment to his borough.
So we've explored how two of hip-hop's most iconic figures, Jay-Z and Nas, are making these very different yet equally ambitious plays in the New York City casino market. One targeting the global spotlight of Times Square, leveraging its, unparalleled visibility.
Mm-hmm.
The other focused on this monumental expansion in his home borough of Queens, anchoring it in community and sheer scale.
And what this deep dive truly reveals, I think, is how cultural influence is being transformed into direct economic power. Power that's shaping the very infrastructure of one of the world's greatest cities.
Yeah.
This isn't just about entertainment anymore. It's about ownership. It's about legacy. And it's about this fascinating intersection of celebrity and civic development on a scale we really haven't seen before from figures like these. It illustrates a new frontier for cultural impact.
So think about everything we've discussed. Here's something maybe for you, the listener, to mull over. What does this evolution from brand partner to infrastructure investor mean for other cultural figures? Not just in music, but across different industries.
Interesting question.
And how will these specific projects, if they get approved, truly redefine their respective communities?
Yeah.
Beyond just the economic benefits, could they shift demographics, change the community identity itself, and maybe bigger picture? What are the long-term societal impacts of such huge developments, especially when they're spearheaded by figures with such deep cultural ties and influence?
A lot to think about there.
Definitely something to mull over as you think about the future of our urban landscapes and the ever-expanding reach of celebrity influence.